Have you ever felt like you had to change yourself to please someone else? Maybe you have lowered your own standards, ignored your own values, or acted in a way that did not feel true to yourself just to make others happy. It's a common experience, but Stoicism teaches us that we should never do this. Stoic philosophy gives us lessons to protect our inner self, our dignity, and our peace of mind. Today, we are going to explore 6 important lessons from Stoicism that show us how to stay strong and never lower ourselves for anyone. The first lesson is about understanding what you can control and what you cannot. This is the foundation of Stoic thought. Life is full of things we cannot change: other people's opinions, their actions, or the way they treat us. But we always have control over our own mind, our reactions, and our choices. Imagine someone insults you or tries to put you down. You cannot control them, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to stay calm, to act with dignity, and to not let their words lower your self-worth. When you understand this, you stop giving power to others over your feelings. You realize that your value does not depend on their approval. The second lesson is about maintaining your integrity. Integrity means staying true to your principles, no matter what. Stoics believe that virtue is the highest good. Virtue is living honestly, kindly, courageously, and wisely. When you maintain your integrity, you never act against your own values just to gain favor or avoid conflict. For example, if someone asks you to lie or cheat, Stoicism teaches that it is better to refuse, even if there is pressure. It may be difficult at first, but keeping your integrity strengthens your self-respect. People may not always understand or agree with you, but that does not matter. What matters is that you are true to yourself. The third lesson is about emotional independence. Many people lower themselves because they seek approval, love, or recognition from others. Stoicism teaches that you should not depend on others for your happiness. Your peace of mind should not be in someone else's hands. You can enjoy relationships, friendships, and work, but your self-worth should not be tied to whether others like you or respect you. For instance, if a colleague criticizes your work unfairly, you can choose to listen and improve, but you don't need to feel crushed or desperate for their approval. You control your emotions, and no one can take that away. The fourth lesson is to accept rejection and criticism calmly. Life will always include people who disagree with you or reject you. This is not a reflection of your worth. Stoicism teaches that criticism is a part of life and should be treated as feedback, not as a personal attack. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic, wrote about keeping your mind steady no matter what happens around you. If someone rejects your idea, do not react with anger or desperation. Instead, observe calmly, reflect, and decide if there is anything useful in their words. Otherwise, let it go. When you practice this, you maintain your dignity and never lower yourself out of fear of rejection. The fifth lesson is about focusing on your own growth. People often lower themselves because they compare themselves to others or feel insecure. Stoicism teaches that your only real competition is yourself. Your goal is to become better than who you were yesterday. When you focus on improving your mind, your skills, and your character, you stop worrying about pleasing others or seeking validation. For example, instead of trying to be the most popular person in a group, focus on becoming patient, wise, or kind. The more you grow internally, the less external opinions can affect you. The sixth and final lesson is about practicing self-respect in every action. Every time you speak, make a choice, or act, ask yourself, am I honoring my values? Do not compromise your dignity, even for temporary gain or approval. Stoics remind us that external rewards, money, fame, or praise, are not as important as inner virtue. If someone tries to manipulate you, insult you, or pressure you into something wrong, remember that keeping your self-respect is more important than pleasing them. Acting with self-respect strengthens your mind and earns the respect of those who truly matter. When you put all these lessons together, they create a strong inner foundation. You begin to live a life where you are not swayed by other people's judgments. You act with integrity, remain calm in the face of criticism, focus on your growth, and always respect yourself. Stoicism does not teach arrogance or selfishness. Instead, it teaches a quiet strength, a way of living that is independent, balanced, and noble. It is normal to feel pressure from others. Sometimes friends, family, or colleagues may push you to act differently. Stoicism acknowledges this reality, but it also gives you tools to respond wisely. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself if lowering yourself in this moment will harm your inner peace. Often, the best response is calmness, patience, and staying true to your principles. As you practice these lessons in daily life, you will notice a shift. You will no longer feel desperate for approval or anxious about judgment. You will make choices based on what is right for you, not what others demand. Your relationships will improve because people will sense your confidence and integrity. You will attract respect naturally, without ever having to beg for it. Remember, Stoicism is not just a philosophy to read about, it is a way to live. Apply these lessons in small ways first. Speak honestly, set boundaries, and refuse to act against your values. Over time, these actions build an unshakable character. You will learn that the opinions of others do not define your worth. Your worth comes from your virtue, your choices, and your self-respect. So, whenever you feel pressure to lower yourself for someone, pause and remember these 6 lessons. Control what you can, keep your integrity, maintain emotional independence, accept criticism calmly, focus on your growth, and act with self-respect. These lessons are simple, but their impact is profound. They give you freedom. They give you peace. They give you dignity. And that is the essence of Stoicism, living a life true to yourself, no matter what the world asks of you. Think about a time when you tried to impress someone, maybe a boss, a friend, or even a family member. You might have agreed to something you didn't want, stayed silent when you had an opinion, or even acted in a way that felt wrong, just to be accepted. This is a natural human behavior, but Stoicism shows us a better way. It teaches that your inner freedom is more valuable than external approval. When you control what you can, you take away the power of others to make you feel small. For example, imagine someone criticizes your work unfairly. A natural reaction might be anger or embarrassment. But if you remember that you can control your reaction, you choose calmness instead. You can think, I will listen, learn if needed, but I will not let this insult my value. You stay strong. This simple step is the first defense against lowering yourself for others. Now, let's explore integrity with a story. Think of a person who is offered a shortcut to success by cheating. Everyone around might be doing it, and some may even encourage them. A person without integrity might give in. But a Stoic person refuses because they value honesty and virtue more than approval or immediate gain. It may seem like they are missing out at first, but in the long run, they gain something far greater: self-respect and a peaceful conscience. When you act with integrity, no one can make you feel small, because your value comes from within. Emotional independence is another key lesson. Many people lower themselves because they are tied to how others feel about them. Stoicism teaches that your happiness and peace should come from your own mind, not from others' approval. Imagine someone ignores you at a party or rejects your opinion in a meeting. If your self-worth depends on their reaction, you will feel hurt, anxious, or desperate. But if your mind is independent, you can stay calm and confident. You can say, their opinion does not define me. I know my worth. This mindset frees you from unnecessary suffering. Acceptance of criticism is also vital. Life is full of people who will not understand you, who may judge you unfairly, or even reject you. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius remind us that these things are natural, they are outside your control. What matters is how you respond. You can take useful feedback and improve, but you do not need to react with anger, fear, or self-doubt. Treat criticism like a teacher. Some lessons are helpful, and some can be ignored. By staying calm, you never lower yourself to the level of panic or defensiveness. Focusing on growth is another Stoic tool. Imagine comparing yourself to someone else, their success, their lifestyle, or how popular they are. If you measure yourself by others, you will always feel inferior and tempted to please them. Stoicism teaches you to compete only with yourself. Your goal is to become better, wiser, and kinder than you were yesterday. Every day, take small actions towards self-improvement. Learn something new, practice patience, or act with courage. The more you grow, the less the opinions of others can shake you. Self-respect is the final lesson, and it ties all the others together. Every action, every word, every choice is an opportunity to honor yourself. When someone tries to manipulate, insult, or pressure you, ask, will this compromise my values? If yes, refuse. If no, proceed confidently. Self-respect is invisible to some people, but it radiates to those who notice. Acting with dignity never makes you smaller, it makes you larger in your own eyes and in the eyes of those who truly matter. Let's consider an example in daily life. Suppose a friend asks you to lie for them. It might be tempting to agree to avoid conflict or keep them happy. But a Stoic would say, I cannot lie. I will not compromise my integrity. You may lose their approval, but you will never lose yourself. In time, the right people will respect you more, and your inner peace will remain intact. Another example, at work, a colleague may take credit for your idea. You may feel frustrated, even humiliated. A natural reaction might be to argue, complain, or lower yourself to prove your worth. A Stoic approach is to remain calm, acknowledge your contribution where possible, and continue focusing on your own work. Over time, your consistent effort and integrity will speak louder than temporary recognition. Stoicism also encourages reflection at the end of each day. Ask yourself, did I stay true to my values today? Did I lower myself for someone else? Even small compromises can teach us lessons. Awareness is the first step to change. By reflecting daily, you strengthen your mind and reinforce these 6 principles. In relationships, these lessons are especially powerful. When you do not lower yourself to please a partner, friend, or family member, you set clear boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish, they are a way to protect your dignity. By living with self-respect and integrity, you create healthier connections where respect is mutual. Over time, these practices build a strong inner fortress. You begin to notice that most of the pressure to change or please others comes from your own fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of being disliked. Stoicism teaches you to face these fears with reason. You can acknowledge them without letting them control your actions. Courage grows when you act rightly despite fear. Remember, these lessons are not about becoming cold or distant. They are about balance. You can care deeply for others, help those in need, and act with kindness, all without lowering yourself. True strength is calm, patient, and virtuous. By practicing Stoic lessons, you live a life of purpose, dignity, and freedom from the need for approval. The journey is gradual. Start small. Speak honestly in one situation, refuse to compromise your values in another, and notice how it feels. Slowly, your mind and character become unshakable. You become someone who cannot be manipulated by pressure, insults, or false praise. Your life becomes guided by reason, integrity, and self-respect, true Stoic principles, and remember, life is not about pleasing everyone. It is about living rightly, growing continuously, and protecting your inner freedom. If you follow these 6 lessons consistently, you will never lower yourself for anyone. You will act with integrity, stay calm in criticism, grow every day, and maintain self-respect. You will find that freedom, peace, and confidence are not gifts from others, they come from within. This is the essence of Stoicism: to live a life true to yourself, to act with virtue, and to never compromise your dignity. Apply these lessons every day, and you will see a transformation, not because others change, but because you have strengthened your mind and character.